All right, family, we should be live right now. I got to make sure every time, see what's going on. Want a lot of people to fill in the chat room. Okay, I see people filling in the chat room right now.
Nice.
Yeah. This. Shout out Scuba Scoop, Yendor Nella, Rich the Bloodline. That's my name. I'm the Bloodline family. Wu Moon, Maurice Grant, Jonathan Tucker, Jazelle, Brandon Floyd, George Mencken. Yeah, you late, George. But hey, better late than never. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We got 40 people so far, but only 7 likes. So make sure you hit that like button so the algorithms could go up and people could join in on the chat. This is going to be very explosive tonight. So while y'all filling the chat room, let me and before I introduce my guest, let me give a shout out to a couple of businesses that are out there doing their thing. That that are definitely doing their thing. Let me put this up. Give me a second, family. All right. So as always, first we got the Comedic Yoga Mats. Lisa Brown out there doing a thing. Hearing so many good things about Lisa Brown. Shout out to Lisa Brown. You can go to lisabrountreasures.com and order you some yoga mats. The symbology is very important in terms of not only the conscious mind, but the subconscious mind. Because your subconscious mind is aware of what all of these mean or meant in the past. Shout out to Parindra Rajadeep, the organic products. If you want some follicle stimulation, you could definitely holler at them, and they have been known to provide help in that area. King Simon is the man to call when it comes to numerology. He's actually going to be on the show tomorrow, him and Lloyd Strayhorn. But if you need your numbers read, if you want to know what 111 means, 222, your birthday, or your girlfriend's birthday, or who you compatible with, call the brother King Simon. He's definitely be able to help you. Also, Mama Pill, last but not least, Mama Pill, red pill, blue pill, KT, the arts degree. Mama Pill gave them all the game, and she's excellent when it comes to health. She's been a tremendous help to myself, my queen, my son, as well as millions of other people all across the world. So make sure you contact Mama Pill for your herbal solutions, and she will help you when it comes to health. All right, so with that being said, welcome back to the show, my brother Billy Carson. Welcome back.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. Another big night.
Yeah, man, definitely another big night. We got a big announcement we want to make for the people, and we got some good conversation we're going to deliver to the people tonight. Mm-hmm. So I guess we could start out with the announcement, my brother. We are actually doing a workshop.
Yes.
And it's called the Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop. And I'll let you start out. I'm going to put that on the screen, telling the people exactly what's going on with the Eye-Magi. This is 2020. This is a year of vision.
That's it, man.
It's called Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop. 6-hour workshop. Really let them know what they're in for with this workshop.
Man, listen, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, if you're not in the building on this night, you're going to miss out, because we're going to be really focusing on how you get the 2020 vision. That's why we call it the Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop. And I'm just telling you right now, we're going into brain-heart coherence. We're going to be talking about how the brain and the heart can synchronize if you can get yourself into a specific type of emotional state that will allow you to enable calm over your body, enable you to control situations in your life, make better decisions in tight situations, and also heal the body. So it's going to be really, really incredible. And also how you can directly affect other people in a room or even from miles away just by getting into that brain-heart coherence. We're also going to talk about the pineal gland, the third eye, which is really the first eye. You probably heard the saying before, we have 2 eyes to look and 1 to see. That number 1 eye, which is what we're going to be focused on as well. How to decalcify the pineal gland, how to activate it, how to get into specific types of meditations that can release more DMT, that you can get into that realm where you're not taking plant medicines to get into the geometric shapes and the sacred geometry inside the meditation, you'll be able to transfer right into that deep meditation. We're going to go into some meditations during this class. We're also going to do the Merkaba quantum light walking, and I'm going to show you how to create a quantum Merkaba so that you're going to get into the counter-rotating tetrahedron. And actually, we're going to play a frequency, 936 hertz, that's going to allow movement and get you to shift consciously in your Merkaba out into the universe. And that's going to be a mind-blowing experience. I'm going to try to take your mind places that you've never been before. And of course, we're going to just talk about a lot of the Kemetic wisdom, Kemetic knowledge from the ancients. It's going to be mind-blowing. We're going to go over some really advanced manifestation techniques as well to help you really hone in on 2020 and take it to the next level. It's all about consciousness and ascension of consciousness.
Man, oh man, that Billy Carson, I'm gonna tell you, man, this is something. It's in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
This is May 23rd.
Yeah.
This is something, family, I'm real proud to be a part of. Mm-hmm. This is the blueprint of my life right here. The imagination. When it comes to Brother Rich and it comes to what I do and what I'm about, this sums it up right here. This workshop sums it up. So I'm advancing in life, and I'm getting to that stage where everything I've learned and I've practiced is just about to be put forth in a workshop, man. And I'm very grateful for you to bring forth this workshop. I'm gonna tell you, family, I talked to this brother behind the scenes, and I'm the type of individuals, I don't just ask questions for a living. I like to ask questions to brothers and sisters to learn when nobody's looking, when nobody's around. And I pick this brother's brain a lot. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm not just talking about because the brother got Rolls Royces and the brother got all this money and he's doing his thing. That's absolutely great, because I want you to manifest whatever it is you choose to manifest if you really are in tune with this knowledge. But the brother's sharp. I'm telling y'all, I've been around the best of them. The brother is definitely sharp, and he's bringing something tremendous to the community. And I just want y'all to see what I see and learn what I'm learning from this brother. And you know, I'm a student, just like y'all right here listening. Just because I'm in front of the camera don't mean I'm learning as I'm listening to this brother. But what I want to let y'all know is that May 23rd, besides the workshop, and this is not a typical lecture where you come and you sit down, it's extremely interactive. It's a workshop, it's hardcore. You have to bring them. It's not you have to bring a pen and a pad, and you're going to be challenged while you're there. Like I said, it's going to be very interactive. But what's beautiful about this, what we're doing that's different from a lot of other workshops, sometimes the information can be overwhelming. And when you give somebody information for 5-6 hours straight, they go home, and sometimes it can be system overload. What we are doing is where we are providing a 30-day support group, a WhatsApp. If anybody was a part of my fast, y'all know how successful the WhatsApp group was. We're providing a 30-day support group for those who participated in this workshop to get you up and started, to give you help, 24-hour access to myself, to Billy Carson, as well as many others. This community, what we need is a tribe now. Sometimes doing things, let me give you an example. If I'm doing push-ups by myself, it could be a little hard. If I got 3 individuals around me doing push-ups with me, for some reason, and I'm gonna ask Billy, why is this some magical reason? What was just hard became easy. And it's simply for the fact that they're there just pushing me on. So there's so much invisible energy going on in our life right now. And we're here, and you can only see this energy or feel this energy with your first eye. Our language is kind of backwards. We call, if you heard what Billy said earlier, he said, we have 2 eyes to look and 1 to see. We've been taught that we see with these 2 eyes. We just look with these 2 eyes, but the eye that we actually see with, we suppressed. So we're going to be dealing with techniques to awaken what we're going to call from now on the first eye. We call it the third eye, but that makes you think it's not as important as these eyes right here. But it's actually the most important eye that you have on your body. So this 30-day support group is groundbreaking. We're here to help you. Billy's here to help you. The WhatsApp group, we're going to be doing global group meditations on a weekly basis, with this 30-day support group. So you will be provided with a secret, with a private link, and we're going to all join and do private meditations globally. It's going to be Billy. Like this is the best thing I participated in.
This is next level. This is the next level.
Participated in.
Yeah, man, this is really the next level because we're going to push people's minds to places that they've never pushed it to before in most cases. And, you know, just like you were talking about, if you're doing push-ups by yourself, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, this is really hard. I really can't complete these. But if you got somebody there, just one person there, that you feed off that energy. That's that extra little push. That's why it's always better to work out with somebody to give you that extra bit of motivation, an extra push, an extra rep, an extra set. But also what I found in a lot of my studies over the years was that the mind will give fake limitations to you. And it will fake you out. It will have you believing this is your life, this is the absolute best you can do. But that's just a fake barrier that really doesn't exist, okay? That's a safety or a security zone. I'm gonna show people how to break through that security zone and reach out into other realms, break through that box, get outside the box, and start really experiencing life the way it was meant to be experienced and really claim their true birthright, which is a capability and true abilities that's already inside of them to manifest their own destiny, manifest their own realities, and also do it in a way that they can help themselves, but also help others. They can actually help others with this too. So it's gonna be amazing, man. And whatever you know, things that they're needing, whether it's a physical object or whether it's something that's non-physical, they're gonna be able to know the fundamental structure of how to create that manifestation and why the manifestation works. Because what I'm going to be doing is, instead of, you know, we go to school, we learn our timetable, our multiplication tables, right? We know them because we just memorize the answers. So we know 1 times 1, 2 times, we see the answers on the right side, 1, 2, 4, you know. So that's how we end up learning the multiplication table. So we're just memorizing answers in life. And that's not good because we're just great test takers. Now, what if we knew how to get to the answer? This is the part that the people are missing. They're always asking me, how do I get on a high frequency? How do I get myself in unconditional love? How do I, that means that means that the part of teaching how, you know, what 2 times 2, how come 2 times 2 equals 4? That part's been missing all this time. We're gonna show you how to get in a high frequency vibration, how to get in a state of unconditional love, how to raise your thought patterns to synchronize with the universal consciousness, how to get into these meditative states, how to go past just a basic, simple meditation and tap into the sacred geometry, how to see that, how to release more DMT naturally from your brain without having to take plant medicines. You don't have to travel all the way to Peru into the jungle to take plant medicine to be able to experience a deep meditation. You know, so all these limitations are going to be lifted. We're going to be doing a lot of interactive thought experiments as well. I'm going to make people get up, stand up. We're going to be doing things. We're going to be active in this 6-hour workshop. It's 6 hours, guys. This isn't just come in for an hour or two and walk out. This is a 6-hour workshop. We're going to go in deep, deep, deep. And I'm going to try to let you pull everything out of me. And I'm going to try to get everything out of y'all because I think it's really worth it. And I think this is next level teaching right here.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down, next level teaching. And probably, you know, the most important topic that we could be discussing right now. One of the things that I want to start out with talking about with you, my brother, is the fact that the imagination. I heard Bashar. You ever heard of Bashar?
Oh yeah, actually, he was at the last conference I spoke at. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bashar said that the imagination is the conduit between the physical mind and the higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think of the word, I mean, it sounds so childish. It sounds so, you got an imaginary friend, or go act like you, go play with your broom or something like that. And we really, really sleep on it, the importance of it and what it does. So how does the imagination become the conduit? What is the, you know, you always say to the people, you know, I bring the science. What is the science behind this imagination being the conduit between the physical mind and the higher self?
Well, you see, okay, you have the physical mind tied down to the 3-dimensional avatar body. And then you have the higher self, which is a multi-dimensional consciousness consciousness is just not in the third. It actually streams down from multiple dimensions to get to the third dimension. There's actually a delay factor in that, which I'm going to talk about in the actual class, in the workshop. There's up to a 7-second delay between the time that consciousness interacts from the highest dimension to tap into and be deciphered by and discerned by third dimensional avatar body. So you have the high dimensional, multi-dimensional self, and then you have the third dimensional avatar, which is locked down to this material physical world. The conduit is imagination. Why? Because imagination is a substructure that's also multidimensional. When you create these thought patterns in your mind that take you into this imaginary or dream-like world, or daydreaming, whatever you want to call it, you are sending light frequencies out of your skull. So if I were to take you into a laboratory and put a cap on you with electrodes on it and connect it to a computer and tell you to think about anything, your ABCs, or just blink your eyes or look left, look right, I can see everything going on in your brain on a computer screen. Why? Because every thought that you do and every motor function you create sends a light wave out of your skull into time space permanently. Just like if you go back to the 1930s, 1940s, I Love Lucy and all those shows that were on TV with radio frequencies, those radio frequencies are still traveling in space right now. All those TV shows that we watch and all that stuff, all those radio shows, all the radio frequencies go by antenna right now today, go into space permanently. What are radio waves? Light. Everything is light. Electromagnetic waves, radio frequencies, is all the same thing. Different frequencies of wavelength patterns that can be then picked up and decoded and turned into images or sound or whatever we want. Well, your brain is already doing that. Your brain is sending out this information on a consistent basis. Now, what happens is when your brain sends out these thoughts about this imagination, these imaginary things, it now becomes a conduit from the physical avatar body, sends out this light stream of conscious thought. Now, all light waves, all electromagnetic waves are conscious. They're intelligent, I should say. They're all intelligent. Why is light intelligent? Because the double slit experiment told us it's intelligent. Because when you look at the electrons make a decision whether they're a wave or whether they're a particle based off of the observer. So you have this situation where now these light waves are going out, these intelligent light waves are going out, and now they're synchronizing or quantum entangling with the multidimensional self. And now they're creating this conduit, this link between the two. And then probably because the only thing that really exists in the third dimension is consciousness. Everything else is an illusion. So your imagination and the higher dimensional self are more real than the third dimensional avatar body that you think that you're physically touching. You know, because there's 7.5 billion people on Earth, and atoms are 99.999% empty space. So if I took all the empty space out of the atoms in the people's bodies on the planet Earth, I can fit everyone into a sugar cube. So nobody's really here. It's really the consciousness and the multidimensional self. Those two things together are creating this realm. And that's why it's the conduit.
So now that sounds great. I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
If that's the case, what if I imagine, say I have a bad diet and I'll imagine myself and I hear Dr. Sabi and others talk about all these magnificent fruits that are electrical and that's going to feed the electrical body. Can I imagine myself eating an apple, or orange, a banana, and some collard greens and some kale and feel the effects of eating those foods, the light that those food carry? Can I feel that effect by just imagine? I ate a burger on Thursday, but you know what? I'm going to imagine I ate some kale and an apple. How is that going to affect my body, Billy?
Now, that's a good question. That's actually a really good question. There's two answers to that. The first answer is, depending on how much you believe in your meditation on eating those imaginary vegetables, and depending on your level of belief on how it's going to directly affect your body in a positive way, it can actually happen. And the reason why is because of something called the placebo effect. Okay, so when you go to a doctor, if they have a brand new medicine coming out, they do what they call a double-blind study. And they'll take two sets of people. Some people will get the real medicine. Some people will get the placebo, which is just nothing but a sugar pill. They both take the pill for their disease. And what happens is the people with the sugar pill that come back, they're healed. Why? Because they believed that sugar pill was healing them. So in one way, in one aspect of it, depending on the amount of belief you have in that meditation that you're thinking and focusing on these foods, that's going to really, you're imagining you're eating them, and that you're helping your body. It could have a direct effect on your body in some limited way. Now, the other aspect of it is obviously the human body in the third dimension, it needs specific nutrients to sustain itself. There's been only a very small amount of people that have been known to become breatharians, people who live off sunlight only, okay? But the majority of us, the billions of us, we still need some type of sustenance to maintain. And because of that, you will need to, eat something healthy for your body if your true goal and destiny is to get to a healthier body or a healthier lifestyle. So in two ways, it can work. One way through imagination and one way through physically eating it. The combination of the two can take it to another level. It took 20 basketball players, 10 of them, they told them to meditate on shooting free throws every single day and making every single free throw for a month. The other 10, they told them to do the same thing, but in person, physically shooting the free throws every single day. I think it was 100 days for a month. At the end of the trial, they came back and competed against each other. The people that meditated on making free throws and didn't physically show up to a gym made more than the people that went there and shot them every single day. So the mind is a very, very powerful thing. So there really is no limit to what the mind is capable of doing. However, because there is this one small separation between the avatar body and consciousness, there will come a point where some type of sustenance will need to be put into the body, unless you're trying to obtain, the light body, like the monks. You know what I mean? But yes, it's a very good question, man.
Definitely. Once again, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. We got about 500 people right now. We just getting started. Yeah, family, it's gonna be off the hook, family. This is the showstopper right here. I'm very, very proud. This is not a lecture, family. I can't stress this enough. This is not your typical lecture. This is a workshop. This is an interactive workshop that is providing 30-day spiritual. We're gonna have a spirit group, a tribe, a divine tribe after this workshop that we're all going to participate in via WhatsApp. If you want to be a part of that, if you don't, it's all right. But if you attend the workshop and you want to be a part of this group, you're more than welcome to. And Billy Carson is going to be there for 30 days to help you to continue to implement these spiritual practices and techniques that he's going to teach us into our lives. This is not something where we're just going to cram information down your throat and just expect you to know. No, he's going to be there to help you via WhatsApp. And like I said, we're going to do a weekly global meditation. Wherever you are in the world, we're going to do a weekly global meditation. Wow, that's how you use the internet. That's how you don't let the internet use you and you use the internet. Now, this is a powerful tool. Unfortunately, it uses us instead of us using it. What we're going to do, we're taking back control over these devices and using them the way they were intended to be used. We're combining our organic spiritual technology with this artificial technology and enhancing our well-being. And that's what it's all about. It's not saying that all technology is bad. No, technology is good. We just have to know how to use it. It's like the people that say money is the root of all evil. It's not the root of all evil. It's just the people that get it don't, their minds is messed up. So, once we get our minds right, our first eye together, this technology is going to help us out tremendously, man. So I can't thank Billy enough. This is what I want to talk about real quick, my brother. Mm-hmm. Let me put this on the screen because it helps when you show things. Yeah. So, can you see that on the screen, Billy?
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Woo! Now this is powerful, family. Billy Carson talks about this a lot.
That's right.
We got a crystal brain, family.
Yep.
Listen, we think we are beautiful, beautiful beings. Mm-hmm. Only if we knew who we truly are. If you knew what our structure consisted of, man, you would call yourself beautiful every day. Let me read this for you, family, real quick, and I'm gonna ask you to elaborate it on it, Billy. This is pretty long. I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
No problem.
Okay. Magnetite is one of the most magnetic substances on Earth. It has a diverse range of uses, but what you probably want to guess is that your brain actually synthesizes these crystals and have hundreds of millions of them inside your head. Who would have thought we have much smaller ones, of course? Who would have thought, anyhow, who would have thought we have hundreds of millions of crystals in our brain? We wasn't taught that in school.
Nope.
At all. We wasn't taught that in college anywhere. First, let's look at what we know about magnetite in our brain. The mineral is highly magnetic, and what was it saying? And the cellular components of the brain communicate with each other through magnetic signals, with the magnetite particles acting as tiny antennas, simultaneous receiving information throughout different parts of the brain and universe. Magnetite acts as an antenna for external electromagnetic fields, including the geomagnetic field of the Earth itself. And this is where things start to get interesting, as an enormous body of research is emerging that shows substantial links between magnetic fields and cognitive functions. I want to, this goes on and on, but I just wanted to read that real quick.
Yeah.
You can go to the Gaia website for more information. And it talks about the Schumann resonance and all of that and the ionosphere. But basically, Billy Carson, it seems as though we are a walking antenna.
That's right, man.
We are a walking crystal antenna, but we don't even know. We literally, like they have a picture of this kid on the internet, a famous video on the internet. And the kid is holding on to this thing and he thinks he's about to drown, but he's the ground is right there. All he got to do is put his feet down.
Right.
So it's like the fear. We're so filled with fear and limitation that like the kid didn't know, like, all you got to do is put your foot down. Like this, right. You're drown. Like we're so filled with fear and limitation. What me and you are talking about is so far-fetched to the modern man and woman. So talk to me about this magnetite crystal in the brain, millions of them, and us being walking human and liquid crystal antennas, my brother.
And it's wild, man. You know, a lot of people didn't know that we had these magnetite crystals in our brain, and these crystals are in the base of the brain, near the brain stem, and there are literally hundreds of millions of them. And the thing about them is, in ancient times, we had access to them. We still have access to them. We were more aware that they were there. In other words, we were able to navigate the Earth based on the Earth's magnetic fields due to our magnetite crystals. This is something that we've kind of lost over time. And in my opinion, this is something that was probably more disconnected about 200,000 years ago, when these Anunnaki beings, in my personal opinion, according to the Sumerian tablets, disconnected us from a lot, including giving us this quote unquote junk DNA, which is really just unplugged DNA. And now it's our job to plug back in those nodes into the DNA and also tap back into those crystal magnetites because it's there. Some people you'll notice have better psychic powers than others. Some people you notice may be more able to discern information better than others. Some people seem to be more sensitive or empathic than others. That's because they're utilizing this spiritual antenna built into their body. Their magnetite crystals and their DNA are sending and receiving information wirelessly, just like everyone else is. But when they get the information into their body, they're able to discern it a little bit better than others. And it creates a different effect on them, and they're able to know more and navigate through this matrix a little bit better in some cases. Everybody has the same capability. It's in us already. The human body is a gigantic crystal tower. The reason why you go to Egypt and all these temples and all these pyramids are built with crystal granite is because why? They're utilizing that crystal granite for sending and receiving information. So the Great Pyramid itself is built over an aquifer of water. Now the aquifer is dried out, but thousands of years ago, there was plenty of water in the aquifer. And running water underneath those granite plates created something called physiostatic electricity, which would then rise these ions up through into the Queen's Chamber, boost them up into the Grand Gallery, and there used to be resonating arms in the Grand Gallery. They've been removed out of those slots. If you've ever been in there, I've been inside that Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid. And then it would go up into the King's Chamber, which is completely surrounded by tons and tons of crystal granite. And then from there, it would boost the signal up into the apex, which would then go out into the ionosphere. And then the obelisk, which was what? Gigantic crystal towers. That's what obelisks are. Crystal granite towers that would capture that ionosphere frequency of electricity and then carry it from tower to tower. The ancient Egyptians back then, pre-dynastic era, used to transmit not only electricity wirelessly, but also sound and images wirelessly. If you read these ancient texts and tablets, you discover that they really had their own mini internet system set up in ancient times. Thousands, our human bodies mimicked, or they copied those structures of that system based on this body, this avatar body that we're already in. We have the same exact system. We have a torus energy field that goes out from around our body 8 to 15 feet. We have the DNA, which is sending and receiving Wi-Fi information. It's in conjunction with the magnetite crystals that are receiving data on a consistent basis on a string. Around our head, on the inside of our skull, is something called the neural correlates of consciousness. 3 giant neurons that wrap around the inside of the brain, and scientists say it looks just like a crown of thorns. Okay, which is ironic if you know what I mean. Yeah, you know, yeah. The crown of thorns is inside of our heads, everybody's. And that crown of thorn, that neural lens of consciousness, it literally helps us to encapsulate the stream of consciousness that's coming in from the outside, from our higher self, capture it, the magnetite crystal grounds it, takes the information and passes it down into the body, and then the DNA stores that information. So, man, we have so much power and energy and information. It's crazy.
Damn. Listen, family, man, this workshop, you're not hearing this. I'm sorry, I'm not hearing this in other places. I don't know who's watching right now. I see some people saying they're not getting alerts. I know YouTube play a lot of games with the live stream. A lot of people don't get, but eventually you might see this tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. But man, did y'all hear what this brother just said? Did y'all hear what this brother just said? This is some serious stuff, y'all. Yeah. Now, okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that, family. I'm glad you mentioned that, Billy, because the family can really understand what you're talking about, because we're all into streaming now. So we understand the concept of streaming. So when you say we're streaming consciousness, we can say, oh, I stream Netflix wirelessly, or I stream this wirelessly, or I stream music wirelessly, but it comes to my phone. All the information, the songs come to my phone. So we have a reference point now to understand that we stream information just like we stream Apple Music or Netflix or something like that. It's the same. It's a more sophisticated process, but it's very similar.
It's very, very similar. Very similar. I mean, Nikola Tesla had it right. He said, "My brain is only a receiver, and the universe is the core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. And I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists." So even Nikola Tesla back then knew about this untapped wireless stream that's going on a consistent basis. And now modern science did an experiment. So they took people and they put them in a room. This is something they found out totally by accident. They were trying to find out what the brain looks like based on what it's feeling, okay, what your emotions are. So they put this cap on people, they put them in a dark room, they put this TV screen up, and they started flashing images on the screen one at a time. They would leave the image on the screen for 10 seconds. So they would put up a bed of roses, okay, and see what the emotions were, record it on the computer. They're trying to map human emotions. All of a sudden, something really strange started happening. After like they were alternating the images between serene, joyful, and also fearful and pain. So they would show somebody getting killed. They would show somebody getting stabbed. They would show a baby, being born. Then they would show a field of roses. They would just all these random images to get a random different type of emotion out of somebody based off of what they see on the screen. All of a sudden, what started happening was on every single case study now, not just one, but every case study, up to 7 seconds before the next image appeared, the brain was already sending the signal to the computer what the image was going to be, whether it's going to be an emotion of joy, pain, hurt, sorrow, fear, whatever it was. The brain was sending it already to the computer up to 7 seconds in advance. Why? Because in the avatar body state we're in now, we're living in a delayed period of space-time because our higher self is receiving information on a more real-time scale, and then it's penetrating down multiple densities to get to the third dimension and get deciphered by the avatar body. Up to 7 seconds delay at times. Just like I tell people, even looking at the screen that they're looking at to watch this live stream right now, they're not even
buffering.
What you say?
Is buffering, would buffering be a good example?
Buffering is an excellent example. Okay, so here's the buffering in the avatar body. I'm looking at you on the screen, but I'm only seeing you as you were. Why? Because there's a buffer period. Because now what happens is the photon has to bounce off of the screen, bounce back to my retina, go to the back of the brain, get deciphered, and then project an image of what I believe is going on the outside. By the time all that happens, it's been a few milliseconds, but by the time all that happens, you've already moved. It's not real. I don't see you in real time. You don't see anything in real time in the third dimension. Nothing is in real time. This is why you have to tap into your higher dimensional self so that you can discern things before they happen. So you can get more to the real time and not living in the delayed time. That's how you can navigate through this matrix better.
That's why we got to learn about the first eye.
That's right.
The real first eye. Because these eyes right here, there's a delay.
This is a delay. This is a delay right here. The first eye is tapped in permanently in real time, in the right time.
It's timeless, isn't it? It's timeless.
It's timeless, man. It's outside of space-time. The first eye can see past, present, and future all at once.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously, because it's multidimensional.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you earlier, I brought up an example of being in a group because we're doing a group meditation for those who join the workshop. And I said, you know, Billy, sometimes when I do push-ups, if I do it by myself, it's hard. But if I have a couple of people around me, it gets easy. And I thought of an example of sports. You know, this nation is all about sports, and Super Bowl is the most famous event of the year. What we know about sports is that when a team's playing in a home arena and you have thousands of people cheering you on, they usually win.
Yeah.
All those people the home record is always better than the away record. Yeah. So what I want to ask you, my brother Billy, is what happens when a team got an amazing away record and none of that phases them? The booing.
Yeah.
Booing doesn't phase them. What's going on with them consciously where regardless of there's negativity coming at them from thousands of people in one small arena, it doesn't affect them? What's going on? What do they have consciously that we all could benefit from?
Yeah. See, so what's happening is in the home game, obviously they're tapping into the energy of the crowd. Okay, so the crowd, all that energy is energizing them and taking them to a next level, giving them the confidence and everything else that they need. When you go to the away game, now guess what? You don't have the outside crowd anymore cheering you on, right? You got the haters and the booers and everybody trying to take you down. So now when you go to the away, you have to go where? To inner space. Ooh. Inner space is where you become all the people, all the energy. You carry that energy, all that frequency you carry with you. In inner space is your own cheerleaders. The inner space is the rah-rah and the hype to push you forward and everything else. It's all about the inner space. So the great players and the great teams, you'll find that nothing shakes them. When they're at home, they ride the wave of energy. When they're away, they tap in on the inside to the energy wave, and then they synchronize within themselves, within that team group. And they're almost in a way where they're playing. You can see them moving up and down the court in a way or the field, almost as if it's just telepathy, okay? They're making split-second decision and changes. You can't plan for a real-time game. You can practice, but in the real game, the real defense is gonna do something that you didn't anticipate, and you gotta make an adjustment to that play in real time, and everybody's gotta synchronize with that in real time. So they're almost in this telepathic type of a mind state. They're tapping into the internal self, and that's the energy that they need, that unlimited source of energy and power to push them forward to the win.
Some deep shit there, Billy. That's some deep stuff there, man. Tapping to that inner space fan support or that inner space energy. That's man. You know what? I want to ask you this. Something that I've gone through in life that, you know, it would be good if you elaborate on. Now, I've always, the imagination, and that's why I'm glad we're doing this workshop, and I can't stress it enough, it's a workshop. I've always utilized my imagination.
Mhm.
Other things have gotten real difficult, difficult for me. I know how to tap into the imagination when things get difficult, and things get better for me. Like it'll go from being here to being here.
Yeah.
So, but the problem I have, what's strange, is that when things get better for me and my imagination comes to reality,
Mhm.
the problem I have is I stop tapping into my imagination and I focus on my external because that's what I wanted to see.
Right.
So I stopped doing what worked for me. The imagination is what got me here, but I
Yeah.
stopped using that because
Mhm.
now that I'm here, I see what I want. So
Yeah.
I look at what I want and I use that, but that always goes up and down like this. So
Mhm.
my life begins to be up and down like this,
Right.
like up and down or whatever. But the imagination is smooth sailing with that. So
Right.
that's been an issue with me, is that when things go good, I stop using my imagination. When things bad, Billy, I'm tapped in. I'm like, man, fuck all
Right.
this around me. I'm zoned out. I just wanna, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's that's what everybody does. And it's almost likening to, like, for a religious person, when they get in trouble, they start begging God to just give them this one chance, and they promise, if you straighten this out for me, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm never gonna smoke again and all this other kind of stuff, right? So in the spiritual realm, how we are spiritual beings, we do the same thing, but we do it in a different way, where we're focused in and we're tapped into the spiritual realm. We're using our manifestation, we're focusing on things, we're using our imagination, and we're trying to tap into the third eye. And then when the thing that we're trying to do manifests, it's like, yeah. And then when we get blindsided by something, what I'm saying, we forget about everything it took us to get us there. So we then tap back in. We have to go backwards and start all over again, because we saw what we wanted and we just kind of relinquished their energy. But the thing is, we have to realize that as spiritual beings, we got to, and especially in ascension knowledge, if we're trying to really apply it to our life, we got to sustain that on a consistent basis, because we never know when we're going to be needing to tap into that internal power, that internal energy source, that manifestation power on a moment's notice. Because not just for us, even for somebody else, it can even be the fact that you are in that manifestation mindset, and you're in that fulfillment mindset and that spiritual mindset, and you're tapped in and you got what you want. But now you didn't just fall back off of your practices, and now you're going somewhere and you see somebody broken down, a nice person you see him broken down on the side of the road. You don't even have to pull over to that person and help them. If you can, that'd be great. But you don't have to go pull over to them. You don't have to, get out of your car and run over there in the middle of the highway. You can be driving by, and if you're tapped in the right way, you can bless that person. You can bless their situation. You can pray through a prayer of conscious prayer. In other words, prayer of power, not prayer of begging, prayer of commanding that their needs be met and that they're taken care of. And that person will find a way. Something will happen, and that car will start. That person will get help. Person will get a tow, assistance, whatever it may need, whatever need be, just by you being tapped in on a consistent basis. When you're always tapped in, when is that the frequency that you're on, you're always able to impact places that you go. Because why? Because now you are shining light no matter where you go. People will automatically be drawn to you. When you walk into a room, the people will feel your power automatically. When I walk into rooms, I feel the people understanding and feeling that there's power here, there's light here. Just walk in a room, and that's what that's the strength of always being tapped in and trying to stay with the practices. It's very easy to fall off from them, but when you make it a lifestyle, it becomes a lot easier. Just like when you make working out a lifestyle, eating healthy a lifestyle, it becomes a part of a habit. If you make this into a habit, you'll be able to not only help yourself, but also help other people.
And I think that's one of the goals that I want to accomplish with this with this 30-day support group, the spiritual
Mhm.
support group, is helping people to make it a habit. And
Yeah.
not just, I went to a 6-hour workshop, this fancy workshop in a college. The food, by the way, is going to be catered by Blue Pill and I forgot
Right.
the name of his company, but y'all know the line was crazy at the 2020 Ascension Conference. The food line was crazy. So y'all know how we get down with the food. So there's going to be food provided. Like I said, this is workshop, food, drinks, everything is going to be provided for y'all. You're not going to have to worry or pay for that. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But one of the things I want to talk about, my brother Billy, is that with the imagination. And I forgot the point you was just making because I want to make a point before this point, but I forgot. What was that last thing you just said, Billy? Do you remember?
I was talking about staying tapped into the energy source and staying with your spiritual, practices, so that you can always be ready to make a move or help people, help yourself, and also help others as well. Keep that manifestation mindset and that tapped in spiritual mindset going at all costs.
Indeed. So what I wanna say is that one of the things that this mindset that you talk about, and one of the things we're gonna talk about, the brain heart coherence. And a lot of us, we get this information on an intellectual level, and we may know something intellectually, like this shit is so deep, Billy. There's been times when I've known something intellectually for 9 years. In the first year I understood it on a heart level was the year that the shit happened for me.
Wow.
So it did not happen in 9 years from knowing it on an intellect, because everybody said, oh, I know that, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, but they don't get no results. But they say, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, I know this too, I know that, I know this, I know, no results. But when you understand it on a heart, when the heart and the brain is on the synchronized, what's that word is? You know, because the heart produces such a stronger electromagnetic field than the brain.
Right.
When it starts to happen, and Neville Goddard, he was Reverend Ike's teacher. I don't know if you ever heard of Neville Goddard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He taught Reverend Ike, and he said he has a lecture called "Feeling is the Secret." We talked about tapping into that feeling of what you want to make it happen. So a lot of times we know the information intellectually, but we need help. We so devoid of love in this world, Billy. We need help on that heart level.
Yeah.
Because intellectually, the information is there, but the internet can't teach you heart information. The internet can only teach you brain information.
Right.
So we need help, Billy, with this heart. We need help with this heart information. I'm gonna tell you, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Listen, brain heart coherence is a huge topic and a huge subject. I'm probably going to spend at least an hour and a half out of the 6 hours on just talking about brain heart coherence alone. Whoa. And we're going to do a couple of experiments with it too, thought experiments, because we have to teach people to understand that the brain isn't the only thing thinking in your body. The heart actually thinks,
right,
and it sends information to the brain. So the heart is transmitting information to the brain, and then you're discerning it inside the brain. And then you think you think that it came from the brain, and it came from the heart. That's deep stuff. And this is real peer-reviewed science. This isn't no mysticism and magic. This is real peer-reviewed science. This is how it works. And so the heart itself has a capability of thinking. It's like you have 3 brains. You have the brain in your head, you have your heart, and you have your gut. All 3 have the capability of thinking. You have your gut brain, your heart brain, and your regular brain of since you've been growing up. But now the 3 work in synchronicity with each other only in certain situations. When you get into the brain heart coherence mode and you're controlling your emotional output and you're getting on a frequency that matches and synchronizes with the heart. How do you do that? The best way is through unconditional love. And I'm telling you, because why? Because in that mind state, in the mind state of unconditional love, you automatically synchronize brain heart coherence automatically. And now you're at a frequency where you can even control your emotions. This is something I've been working and practicing for a long, long, long time. And I'm just now gotten to the point over the last year, I would say, year and a half, where I feel like I haven't mastered it, but I'm pretty close. But I'm telling you guys, this is one of the most amazing feelings. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Okay. Before, if I'm on the highway driving and somebody swerves and I almost crash and I almost lose control of my car, the heart rate would go up, the blood would start pumping, sweat coming out, your hands start shaking, feeling nervous. Doesn't happen anymore. I get enough adrenaline to take control and be alert of everything going on, to take back control. But at the same time, I don't get overdone to where I've lost control of my capacity to control myself and my own emotions. Another good example, everybody's pretty much experienced this. You make a post on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube video, right? And then somebody comes and and puts a nasty comment, a hateful comment underneath there. Before in the past, I'm talking about like, 2013, 2014, I would read that stuff and I would get emotional. I would actually feel my heart palpitate. I would get frustrated, I would get angry, and I would respond back to those people. Now, I don't even respond anymore. And when I see those comments, I realize that I'm here consciously, and the person that wrote that stuff is down here. So I see them as a child. I don't see them as a person that's a bad person. I see them as a person that's still developing and growing and needs time to change, maybe even needs time to reincarnate and come back and learn more lessons. So what do I do now? I just put them on restricted lists. I put them on a restricted list and I delete the comment. I never get sweaty. My heart never palpitates. I never get frustrated. I don't go combat back and forth with all these crazy text messages back and forth on comments, because I've learned to control my emotions. Anything that's going on, restaurant doesn't do the job right, this and that. I may address the situation in a way to let them know, like, hey, I'm in serious business, but at the same time, internally, my physiology is under complete control. I'm controlling my physiology because I'm in that brain-heart coherence, and it's allowing me to manifest more things into my life in a better way, under more control, and it's also allowing me to deal with other people in a better way because I'm operating in unconditional love. And because of the unconditional love, it's given me a certain level of empathy over people that allows me to treat them in a way where I'm realizing I'm dealing with somebody hasn't gotten to a specific level yet. And also another thing you realize in unconditional love is everyone you're talking to yourself, because everyone is only another aspect of you, a different stage of you, a different aspect of you, a different version of you, even in the multiverse, is all there. So it's really incredible stuff, man. We're going to spend a lot of time and do a lot of thought experiments on brain heart coherence.
Yo, Billy, I'm so glad you brought that up. And I think that's something that I really want the people to understand this, and I really want them to come to the conference and grasp this concept, because one thing I had to learn in life is that there's been times when I'm giving out a lot of advice. I give this one, I give that advice, I give this, just giving out advice. And there's one time I was giving somebody advice and I said, hold up, that advice is for me. So I came to realize, I said, oh shit, when I'm giving out this advice, this shit is really for me. Even if it's not in that field, it may be in another field, but somehow that advice pertains to me. It's up to me to figure out how it pertains to me. So whenever I give somebody advice, I'm like, oh shit, this is a message. Because, we're not honest with ourselves.
Right.
So the way we are, whatever our mind helps us, is sometimes it tells us to tell somebody else to do something that's really for us. And that's a problem, man, because that we're not, excuse me, family, that we're not honest with ourselves. But I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad you said that, Billy, because a lot of time we give advice and it's really for us. So I'm glad you said that, my brother.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true. I learned from my own lectures sometimes, my own workshops, because while I'm teaching the workshop and the lectures, things start popping out in my mind that I'm realizing is correlating in my own life. And I'm like, oh, I got to work on that too. So it's like the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Right.
We are the student and we're also the teacher. And when you get to the level of being the teacher consistently, when the teacher is ready, the master will appear.
One thing I'm also glad that you stress a lot, and we talked about this with the magnetite crystals, is the aspect of creation where we're downloading or streaming information versus creating. Sometimes it could be stressful to be a creator because we think we have to figure out how to create. Okay, how I'm gonna make this business work, how I'm gonna make that work, how I'm gonna come up with this hit song, or how I'm gonna do the best lecture in the world. But if we're streaming, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Let me just, it's already there.
Yeah.
It's already there. And that's where imagination comes into play, because once we imagine, we just synchronize it. Once we imagine it.
That's it. You get in the flow. Once you get this is what made Michael Jordan so good. Okay. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, why were they so good? Why? Because they get into the flow. You heard this, this old term, let the game come to you. That's not just for basketball. That's for anything in life.
Yeah.
That's for anything in life. Let it come to you. Because why? What does that mean? Let it come to you. Get in that flow where you're streaming, okay? Because what happens is, the reason why Michael Jordan and these guys, Kobe Bryant, they were so good is because when they get into the flow, when they get in that zone, everything slows down. And that's not just a fake thing or some kind of, oh my God, sounds mystical or magical. Scientists did an experiment with this. They put people in these different types of roller coaster rides, or these rides that dropped. They would drop at different rates. And they started measuring how that person perceived time, and on the rise up and then on the drop in this ride that they took them on. They realized that at different times, depending on what the person's heart rate was and what they were feeling and experiencing, they were experiencing time differently. When you get into it, depending on the amount of adrenaline that was injected into them. So you get into a game situation, a person like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, these guys who based a lot of their stuff on meditations because of Phil Jackson, who got them into the Zen program. Phil Jackson was the master of this right here. Yeah. He took them into the real temples. And so they would go into this meditative state. They would be ready to go to inner space. And when they got in the game, everything to us on TV is moving back and forth, up and down, but to them, it's moving just a step or two slower, allowing them to look like superheroes on the court. And they will tell you the same exact thing. And when you get into that flow, I've been in situations where I've been in a lecture speaking to a lot of people, and I get into the flow. And when I get into the flow, I feel that flow. I feel it to the point where I feel like I even can astral project out of myself and watch myself speak. I've been in that flow before. And then I've observed other people's expressions during the lecture and how they're feeling about it, how they're interacting with what I have to say. And then I can tell myself to make an adjustment here or there or whatever. It's an incredible feeling. And that's something that you can get into, but you have to be willing to let go of this physical thing, this thing that says, oh, I got to memorize every single word in this and I got to do it this way. No, you got to let go sometime. The information is already in you. The information is also in space-time. That's why every idea is not a new idea. It's something that already existed. It even says it in the Bible.
Nothing new under the sun.
That's right. Nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes, right? So it's real. Why is that real? Because every thought is already in space-time, because it's a light wave. Electromagnetic waves of light come out of your skull and they go into space-time and they stay there permanently. So every thought's already out here. All you have to do is synchronize with the thoughts and information that already exists and pull it into yourself, and you're on. So, it's man, we're gonna do some incredible thought experiments that they've never seen before. People are gonna realize how much more their brain is capable of doing for them, and how much more their bodies are capable of doing with some of these thought experiments and physical experiments I'm gonna have people doing. Nothing with lifting or nothing, just things standing up and moving around a little bit and showing them, wow, like I didn't know I could do that. And it's gonna be mind blowing, man. People are gonna be blown away when they leave out of this workshop. They're gonna be like, look, telling everybody about it. The people who they tell and that weren't there are gonna be like, wow, I wish I was there. I could have came, but this happened, that happened. Too late. This is something you don't want to miss.
Man, listen, definitely. Y'all see the flyer on the screen, the Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop. If you're not live right now, and when you watch it in the near future, man, this is something that you definitely got to be able to be there to attend. Somebody asked, where's it at in Brooklyn? It's we're gonna announce. It's definitely in Brooklyn, New York. We're gonna announce the location in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But right now is definitely in Brooklyn, New York. The location will be announced in a couple of weeks, but it's definitely in Brooklyn, New York, and it's definitely on May 23rd. Yep. That's the Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop. I got the hiccups too, y'all.
I see.
Yeah, got the hiccups. I want to give a quick shout out, my brother Billy, to Joseph Carter. He just sent me a donation, Billy, on Cash App, and it's for $20.20. And the brother says, he's legally blind, but definitely lawfully woke.
Wow.
I want to ask you, because of the conversation we're having, and because of we're talking about, perfect vision, and we're talking about two eyes to look and one eye to see. What would you tell a brother? And when I brought the example of Neo in the Matrix, when he went blind And then he could see after he went blind. He could
Right.
really see that. So
Yeah.
what can you tell somebody who's obviously watching, who's legally blind, Billy?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The beautiful thing about this gentleman is the fact that he's picking up these audio, these cymatic frequencies that are coming out of my voice and your voice, our vocal cords. He's taking these cymatic frequencies and he's decoding them. And, because he has a capability of hearing, that information is getting into the brain. And sometimes it's almost better to not be able to open up these two third-dimensional avatar eyes, because it's easy to get distracted. Because if I'm watching this, this episode, this YouTube episode on my TV or on a device, and somebody walks across the room, or the baby falls down, or the dog needs to get walked, and all these other kind of things that pop up, just regular life things, all of a sudden my eyes, these three-dimensional eyes, take me off track. But if a gentleman's sitting in there and all he's got is these cymatic frequencies that he's decoding, that's coming out of our vocal cords, and he's taking this information in and discerning it in his mind and learning how he can apply this to his everyday life, he's in a great and phenomenal place right now. Sometimes the people that we think have disabilities don't have disabilities, they have abilities. And and the people who don't have the disabilities, we're disabled, but by distractions. So he's in a great place right now, and I really want to thank him for participating and for making that donation to you as well. And he put the 2020 in there. He got 2020 vision through consciousness, through the first eye. So he's on track, man.
Definitely. What do you think about, sometimes they say people who lose one of their senses get more powerful in another one of their senses? Like if your vision is bad, your hearing improves, or if your hearing is bad, your vision improves. Do you think there's any truth to that, Billy?
Yeah, there's definite truth to that. There's been scientific studies done on that. And I've been to clinics where, because I go through evaluations because I have something called synesthesia, where my audio and visual cortex are actually merged. So every sound that I hear generates a color and a number, and certain colors generate a feeling. So if I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed too fast and a lot of bright colors are on there, like fuchsias, bright greens, bright reds, things like that, I have to slow down because it generates a very strange tingling feeling in my chest. More browns and grays, dark blues have a less of effect on me that way,
What color does green give you?
What color is green?
What feeling does the color green give you?
Oh, all the feelings are the same feeling. It's this tingling sensation in my chest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, doesn't matter what color it is. For me, some people taste colors and some people taste sound. I'm kind of glad I didn't get that part of it, because that would be crazy, But with the numbers and the sounds together, it helps me with a recall. So my recall, as you probably can tell, is pretty good for information.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because the sounds that I hear, if I read them out loud, I'm able to attach numbers. It's kind of it's hard to really explain it, but I'm able to attach numbers and make correlations by numbers and colors to words and stuff. So it helps me out there. But people who have deficiencies in one area, it's been proven, because some of these clinics have these people that come there for these studies. That's how I found out about it. So if a person's blind, their hearing, their smelling, and their taste is increased. Even their touch is significantly increased. Okay, their hands become the eyes. Really, the third dimensional eyes become the hands. That's why you have Braille. And I experimented with the Braille thing, and man, you really got to be in tune to really read that stuff. I thought it was going to be simple, but it's not. It's not simple at all. But once you lose your eyesight, it becomes second nature to use your fingers as your eyes. And the same thing with any other sense that you lose. If you lose your hearing, other things get stronger. It's almost like, if you get injured, let's say you're playing basketball and you sprain your right ankle. What's going to happen is over the next few weeks, you're going to use more of your left. You're going to put more of your left ankle. You're going to overcompensate to your left side of your body more because you got the right side injured. It's the same way, in senses or whatever. You know what I mean?
Indeed. I want to. What role does, for those who are in the religious community and they're Christians, or they may be of a different religious faith, what role does faith? We're talking about imagination. What role does faith play in the importance of utilizing our imagination? We hear a lot about faith. Is that is that BS or is that a real science?
I think that you should have faith in yourself.
Mhm.
I don't believe in giving my faith away to other entities because now I'm giving away my energy.
Okay.
So I don't like to give away my energy to other entities that I don't know. I don't even know what they're doing with my energy, or even if they even exist. So I could be giving my energy to nothing. So if I have faith in myself,
Right.
then I'm taking that heart coherence energy, because faith comes from the heart, and I'm turning it back into myself, into inner space, and I'm influencing myself, and I'm energizing myself. Snoop Dogg said it the best in one of his speeches. I like to thank myself, you know what I'm saying, for this award.
Yeah, I remember when he said that. I remember.
Right. You see, you have to have faith in yourself. I believe it's great and phenomenal to believe in God, or maybe even believe in some type of other deity. I won't take that away from anybody. But I think once you give your faith away to that deity and rely on that deity that you never met, never talked to in person or anything like that, you just read about it in the book, now you believe it because your parents told you about it. And now all of a sudden you've given that faith away there and hoping that it comes back like a boomerang. Sometimes I think we relinquish our power that we have inside to other sources. And then once you give the energy away, I don't really see a lot of boomerang. I don't really see it coming back. I think it's better just to invest the energy in yourself. When you get on an airplane, the first thing they tell you is if we have a disaster and the oxygen mask come down, you put the oxygen mask on first so that you can breathe freely. And once you're breathing freely, then you can help other people. It doesn't say if there's a catastrophe, put the oxygen on everybody else and then you grab it. You got to take care of yourself first. You got to be secure first and healthy first and okay first before you can help others. So I think that putting the faith in yourself is better because, in my opinion, we are our own saviors. We were sent here to save ourselves. That's just my personal opinion.
Indeed. You know what's funny? There's this guy named Dan Pena. You ever heard of Dan Pena? He's a billionaire.
I haven't heard of him yet. No.
He's a billionaire. And he's on the internet. He's been on DJ Vlad channel. He's been on the London Real channel. But he's a billionaire. He does a lot of self-help videos.
Okay.
He's been doing those recently. And in one of the videos, he stressed. He said there's a lot of people he know that graduated from Harvard, graduated from Yale, these top Ivy League schools, that they're too smart to be successful in life. And the reason why I brought that up is because you said faith comes from the heart. He said they're too logical. So he says whenever there's a chance to be successful, they think so much they figure out how it's not going to be successful.
Right.
So smart, they're able to figure out an equation about how some shit's not going to work. So when you said faith comes from the heart, a lot of the times people with faith, they're dreamers, and they don't rely on logic at all. They're just like, yo, it's gonna happen. I can feel it. I know it's gonna happen. And it's always the debate between the feelers, I feel it, versus the logical thinkers. Well, show me evidence, show me proof. What proof do you have? So, we live in that kind of world. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have balance in anything.
Balance,
When the faith comes from the heart, you have faith in yourself. Now in yourself for what? What is the faith going to do? What am I having faith in? Where's the action part coming from? So faith backed by action. In the Bible, it says faith backed by works. You see, I know all these religious books top to bottom because I've read them hundreds of times. They analyze every word in them. Okay. Yes, so you have to have the faith backed by action. When you put the faith backed by action, now all of a sudden you're moving towards the manifestation process. Now you're getting those things to come to fruition. Okay. And so that's what it's all about. It's all about putting the action behind it. And if you don't put the action behind it, you're just a dreamer. A dreamer if something happens, it's just pure random numeric luck versus you really becoming a professional manifester and knocking things down one thing at a time in life and really setting yourself up right to be able to have not only something for yourself, but also leave something behind for prosperity as well. I think a lot of the problem we have with, unfortunately in the religious community is a lot of people, especially on the Black side, just have gone on this blind faith thing. Blind faith with no action. Kick your feet up, watch the world burn. Blind faith. and they all check out of here and leave nothing behind for their children. No prosperity for the children, but they follow the prosperity message at that building that they go to, that fake temple, and they give all the prosperity to the guy behind the pulpit instead of building something for themselves and their family. So I think that, we have to get people to the point of understanding, have faith in themselves, but you have to put the action behind that. And, it has nothing to do with not believing in God, because I actually do believe in the creator. I believe in the creator because, in my opinion, quantum mechanics and quantum physics proves there is a creator, because we're living in a creation that's designed. It takes intelligent consciousness to design what we're in, and as above, so below. If we are conscious and awake and alive, then whatever created this universe is the same thing. So it's not that I don't believe that. What I'm saying is, a lot of the books that are out here that people have followed all their lives to that they're basing their eternity on, they haven't researched them and realized that those books were written by men, physical men in this third dimensional avatar body, that a lot of them had agendas, and a lot of the information was copied and pasted from older texts and older Sumerian, cuneiform tablets, and also Sanskrit. And now it's been formatted in a way to keep them under control and keep them to relinquish their energy. Keep sending your energy out to us. Keep sending it out. And what is the money that you're giving me? It's an exchange of energy. So the energy in the blind faith has now gone out, and they're not really seeing the things manifest in their life. And they keep hoping and wishing for it and waiting for the day it will come. But what they really truly are doing is waiting to die so they can live. I choose to live now. And that's what this class is about. This workshop is about, how can we live right now today? How can we bring heaven to earth right now?
Indeed. That's exactly, I think that's what this is all about. Bringing out, we've developed this poor righteous teacher, or this poor, this poor mentality for too long. This mentality of limitation for too long. And I think that a lot of people think, Billy, when you see, and let me give Gail and Oprah, let me use them as an example. And for those who are melanated, when we look at somebody like Gail or Oprah, we think because of our history in this country, and maybe they're true, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, I don't know. But the perception is that in order to get to Oprah's position in life, you have to sacrifice your integrity.
Right.
So to be a poor righteous teacher is to have integrity. It's to not be a sellout. Mm-hmm. And when you get, if you got millions, that means you sold out. Yeah. So when we see examples like this over and over, where people with millions, and we're like, I don't want to be like that though. I don't want to be like that with money though. So we're like, fuck it, money's bad. So what would you say to somebody who's looking at Gail or looking at Oprah and the association with Harvey Weinstein, and they think they're full of shit, and they look at them and they associate that with money, and they're saying, well, if I got to do that to get money, then I don't want money. What would you say to somebody with that mentality, my brother?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I talked about that in my new book coming out called Being Woke Doesn't Mean Being Broke, coming out very soon.
What's the name of that book again?
Being Woke Doesn't Mean Being Broke.
Wow.
That's my new book. I'll be bringing it to this workshop with me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, man, because you see, we let these two fake eyes, cheat us again, because we're looking at the people on TV, and we're looking at Hollywood stars. Think about this for a minute. There's millions of people in America. There's 310 million Americans, okay? Out of those 310 million Americans, there's only a couple thousand actors and performers out of 310 million. So the only people that we're seeing that have a lot of money are the ones that are on mainstream media. And then we see how they acting and how they're cutting the food and how they're doing all this crazy stuff. And we're going, oh man, look what money did to them. What about the other millions of people that have significant amount of money that you never see on TV, that are not on the mainstream, that are behind the scenes helping people, taking care of people, building houses for homeless and doing projects, okay? I just started getting on mainstream TV, but you never heard about the YMCA that I helped build in West Broward, Florida? but it's there. You can walk in and my name is on a giant granite plate when you walk into the facility. As you're walking up, my name is in the stones walking into the building. You never saw me on TV when I was raising the $12 million in scholarship monies for girls to go to college. But I did it, and it's documented, and there's articles written about it now. But nobody knew about that. Okay, nobody knew about the things.
Brother, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
$10,000 a year, every single year for the last 4 years. I've paid overdue final notice electric bills in the winter for single parents for 4 years in a row. You didn't see that on TV. So you can't let these fake eyes trick you, because what you're seeing is a limited perception of what people with money do, you know? And why don't you do this? What I tell people, become what you seek. Generate the wealth, generate the income, because why wealth? Because wealth is something that's just a money, it's an exchange of energy. With the energy exchange of wealth, you can now help other people. You don't have to be on Main Street, you don't have to be on a Hollywood movie to help people. You're only seeing the people that you see on these TV channels and on the news and on these radio stations and on these music videos. You're not seeing the mass population of people. I personally know, I just had breakfast with somebody 2 days ago, a very, very wealthy multimillionaire. I'm his mentor in spiritual information, and he's my mentor in business. This guy's a multimillionaire, and he goes around, he helps people like you wouldn't believe, and you'll never see him on TV, not one time. So you can't let these fake eyes fool you into believing that having money means you got to be this evil sellout, and you got to sign your soul over to the devil and all this crazy stuff. When people say that, I say, show me the contract. Let me see the contract that this man signed his soul to the devil. Where's the contract at? You can't give me you're just guessing, because you're looking at what you see, and what you see you don't like. Well, why don't you become the person that generates and manifests wealth for themselves and their family, and then goes out and finds a way to help multitudes of people? That's what you've got to do. Become what you seek. Stop worrying about what this one is doing, what that one is doing. You know, what's the pocket watching and pocket watching over here? You do what you feel is best. And you know, if you're sick and tired of not having, you know, money to pay your light bill or your car payment or your mortgage payment, then do something about it. Don't think you got to be broke to be woke, because that's a farce. And that's another trick that a lot of us play on ourselves, to be lazy and not really implement and put ourselves out there to break out of this comfort zone and make things happen. We go, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know, I can't pay my light bill, but that's because I'm woke, and because, you know, I'm not signing any contracts with the devil. I mean, we got to be careful too now, okay? Because we can go off the deep end too, okay?
Billy said, I'm not signing any contracts with the devil.
Listen, man, listen, people are out here walking around, you know, and they're talking about this manifestation and spiritual, and we're indigo kids and all this stuff. And then the people that are telling this to, looking at their lifestyle like this person just got their car repossessed. I don't believe a word this person says. If you can't manifest a light bill or a car payment or a mortgage payment or your kid's school payment or some school clothes, if you can't manifest that, then you're not really woke. You're pretending, okay? We gotta drop all of these fake things, and we gotta stop following these fake eyes. We gotta tap into the real first eye consciousness. We got to understand that we are the divine beings that deserve and should have our birthright is to dominate over this planet and this matrix. And we should be able to manipulate this matrix to our own, bend it to our own will at all times. And when we get into that mindset, now the thing about bending the matrix and utilizing these techniques is you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. That's just, we can see that because the elites, they know this matrix inside and out. They know all the stuff I'm talking about. They know it better than me probably. But you know what? They use it for darkness, the dark side. The dark side and the good and the light side is real. Now we can use it for light. Take these same exact techniques and apply them in your life and use them for light. Use them to be a light walker. Use them to walk into multiple dimensions. Use them to help people in other countries that you never even met before. Use them to generate income that could then support something for people that are looking to commit suicide, or people that are looking that are homeless, that need homes, or whatever. Find a way to become a help. And you know, everybody can go down the street to the corner and give a guy a quarter, a homeless guy a quarter, or give a guy a $5 sandwich. How many of us can say, you know, we gave out 2,000 sandwiches. We gave out 10,000 meals in a weekend. I can, okay? I can say that. I've done that. 2,000 Christmas gifts I gave to underprivileged children in one day. 2,000. It's on the internet. You can see me pack. I got 30 people in the room wrapping gifts all at one time. 2,000 gifts. Why? I'm thinking on the power level. There's levels to this thing. There's levels. You know what I'm saying? We need people on every single level. But if you want to be a power mover, then you have to be able to manipulate the matrix by making an energy exchange for this fake fiat currency so that you can put the help into place somewhere where it's needed. So we got to get this being broke thing out of our mind if I'm woke, because that's not the case at all, man. We got to change that ASAP.
You know what's the beautiful thing about the imagination too, also, my brother Billy, is that what I realize is that, and this is something Bashar talks about, as far as, sometimes our focus is all on money, but currency could come in many forms. It could come in the form of somebody doing you a favor. It could come in the form of somebody giving you a gift. It could come in the form of money. It could come in many forms, prosperity. So what he says is that when you're imagining, the thing is to, and I want you to elaborate on this, because this is just part of my many years like family. And this is something I got to the side. I'm going to show, this is personal. See if I can turn this light. I'm gonna get light soon, family. I apologize. I know I haven't. Okay, let me see if y'all can see this. So
yeah,
at the top it says the universe is abundant in wealth. I had this notebook since, and at the very bottom it's the infinity. I'm a number 8. I was born in 17. That's the infinity. But this, I've had this since, Billy, since I was since 2012.
Wow.
Yes, since 2012. When around the age of when I turned 30, I started going through a lot of changes in my life, and just thinking a lot of thoughts. And I had this book, and I started getting to, that's when I started studying Bashar a lot, and I started getting to the imagination, the studies of the imagination a lot. So to be here in 2020 and to do this is absolutely amazing, man. And I just want you to know that it's not a quick gimmick Brother Rich is doing, or it's not something the newest trend Brother Rich is into. I actually have a notebook full of things that I wrote about. Let me show you something real quick. This is my dream, and this is real personal, but I'm gonna show it. This is my dream home. This is real personal.
Wow. That's beautiful, man.
2012, I put that up there. That's and this is the law of I am. This is how your magnetic field, what it says, how your magnetic field is created. And there's notes on how reality is made. And it's just something I've been into this so long. And this is, and one more thing I want to show. So this is some music equipment I want to get, that I the pictures I put down that I want, and I got it. Like, if you, I wish I could show and have the camera, but like, this I've been in this for a long time, my brother. But like I said, I put it to the side when things got good for me, and I made mistakes. And one thing I want to never do is tap into this imagination now, and I never want to put it to the side ever again, and for the rest of my life.
Yeah, man, for real. That's what it's all about. Being consistent. We're gonna have to make this a lifestyle, and not just them, also me. The beautiful thing I like about this 30-day, group that we're gonna be involved in, it's gonna also reinforce things inside of myself and force me also to stay on track as well. So we're all working and growing together. This is the I team. You know what I mean? So I love it, man. This is a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to the 30 days after the workshop, just being able to interact with the people and being able to talk to everybody on a consistent basis on that WhatsApp group chat. It's going to be an amazing thing. And doing the meditations once a week, man, it's going to be beautiful, man. This is really going to help us impact the world in a way that we're probably not even going to fully realize the full impact we're having on the planet. But we're going to have a massive impact. Ripples in space-time are going to go out and alter future realities in the third dimension.
Man, listen, this and like I told you, Billy, like there's literally nothing else. When you look at these workshops, and these workshops cost a ton of money, and I don't want to say a ton of money because if it's worth it for you. So just like ours costs a good amount of money, but the thing about our workshop that's great is like I can't stress enough is that you actually get support for 30 days after the workshop. A massive brother, you not no hole in the wall, you not no walk by, you not a ghetto, stand on a corner, preach like this. This dude has been he's up there. Billy Carson ain't no joke. So they have access to this brother every single day for 30 days. You just hitting him up with questions every day, and he's hitting you back with questions every day. This kind of support for 30 days. Global meditations once a week that you a support group, a tribe. You're not gonna get this, family.
Yeah.
Go to that link in the description bar. This workshop. This is my pride and joy. This is what everything I've done, the Bobby Hemmett, the Phil Valentine's, the Delbert Blair, it all leads to this right here. This is what I worked for. This is what I'm proud of. And this is my biggest occasion right here. And I'm putting it all out there. This is my biggest occasion. It's all about your imagination. And the thing about, let me just say this real quick, Billy, and I know I'm a little, getting a little
No problem. You good, man.
The thing about the melanated community is that we suffer from so much in terms of police brutality, in terms of redlining. Everywhere you look, it appears that there's something else holding us back. And I'm not one of these people to say that, it's not real. It's real to a certain degree, but there's a greater truth. It's an illusion, but there's a greater truth, and the greater truth is that we can overcome all of that. Look at the inventions that was made during slavery. Look at them. Half of the things we use in this country was made when we was at our most oppressed point. How did we come up with this? Did we tapped into something inside that we are not tapping into no more, and we have way more freedom than our ancestors. Way more freedom. What is it that they was tapping into that we aren't tapping into? We got to tap into that, family.
Right.
There's something inside us that we're not tapping into because of the distractions. And that's all we want y'all to tap into. It's nothing spooky. It's just something inside. I showed you my notebook, and a lot of things that I have in my life, like I'm a lot of things that I dreamed personally, that I dreamed about my brother Billy. I'm living it in terms of relationship, in terms of children, in terms of where I live, in terms of my career choice, in terms of me doing this interview. It's a pleasure to work and to do an interview at night, and I don't have to get up early in the morning. And I enjoy doing this. This is pleasurable to me, doing this interview, and this is what I do for a living. So this is a dream come true to me. This is what it's all about: learning who you are and finding out a way to monetize it some way. So I'm really living what I used to imagine, man. It's family. It's the most important thing for us, man. I swear. So this workshop, and this is the perfect man. Like when I met Billy, I knew this was like, yo, it's time to do this with Billy Carson. So man, it's just dope, man. I really appreciate it, my brother.
Man, it's awesome, and it's really incredible. What you're saying about the goal setting. Like, you have the book there showing what you did from 2012. Yeah, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to be doing something very similar in the actual workshop, and everyone's going to have to become very vulnerable with themselves. We're not going to make them tell the crowd about what they're writing down and the questions that they're answering, but every person's going to get a worksheet. And on this worksheet, there's going to be some serious questions on there that they've got to answer about themselves and the things that they're trying to manifest. And why are they trying to manifest these things? Is it ego? Do you really need it? Or is it something that you want? I mean, it's a lot of questions you're going to have to go through on this worksheet, because you have to peel the layers back, You have to peel the layers back, and you got to get real with yourself. Because one thing I found in manifestations, and we're going to go into advanced manifestation techniques, some people are just naturally innate capable of just manifesting things better than others. Okay, it's just like Michael Jordan. He's a great basketball player. Now, but there's other people on the team, they're in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? That's like lottery, right? Because every year, 500,000 boys play basketball in high school. 110,000 make it to college to play basketball, and 30 make it to the NBA. You see the bottleneck there? Now, you've gone through this bottleneck, and you made it to the NBA, and you're on the same team as Michael Jordan, but you never even get in the game. He's just that much better than you. You practice twice as hard. You're doing everything you can. You went through this bottleneck. You're good. You're in the NBA. You can't even get in the game. There's people who were in those championship games, those 6 championships, that were on the bench in a suit because they can only suit up. You know, in the NBA, you only suit up a certain amount of people in the finals, right? You can't suit up the whole team. There's 2 people always sitting on the bench in a suit, never get in the game. They get a ring and everything, but they went through that bottleneck. So what does that mean? Well, Michael Jordan was just a little bit better than them. Okay, some people on the team were just a little, even though they went through that same bottleneck. So what it means is the people who were in the suit, they something else. They got to tap into something. There's something that they've got to do extra to put themselves in a position to get some minutes in the game. And what is it? Coming to this workshop, we're going to show you how to earn yourself some minutes. If you're not a great manifester, if you've been struggling with manifesting in your life, if you've been struggling with different types of meditations and knowing which meditations to use for what, if you've been struggling with distractions and you can't get focused, if you've been struggling with trying to get yourself in a resonant frequency with your heart and mind so that you can tap into other realms and everything else, we're going to show you how to do all of that in this workshop. And then we're going to support you for a whole 30 days afterwards. Okay, so May 23rd is going to be, listen, I've been on so many shows. I've been on Discovery Channel, the History Channel, the Travel Channel. What other channels I've been on, man? It's been every science channel of the Science Channel. I've been on the Science Channel. I've been on every channel and multiple shows all coming out at once. Mm-hmm. How did that happen? People go, how did you get on all this stuff? Blah, 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 blah. Because I planned it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper that I wanted to get into. I didn't put all those channels down, but I told them I really want to get on the History Channel. It's the main one I want to get on because of my ancient history stuff, right? I want to bring some alternative history to the mainstream so that people can listen and, hey, you know what? Let me look into this. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to also talk about UFOs and things like that because I really do believe that they exist. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote this stuff down on a piece of paper about maybe 6 years ago. And I told a friend of mine named Al, I said, Al, I'm going to make this happen. He said, how are you going to make it happen? I said, because I'm going to bust my ass putting out so much information. Somebody's going to see me and they're going to say, we got to have this guy. This guy knows something. And so I kept striving and nobody called, nobody emailed, nobody contacted until one day somebody sent an email and said, hey, we saw your video. We want to talk to you about coming on the show. Boom. I said, okay. They came out to me, filmed the show at my own office. And then from there, somebody saw that and somebody saw that and somebody saw that and somebody saw that. And then all of a sudden, with all the work, I never relented. I kept working, I kept pushing, I kept focusing, I kept staying in that zone of trying to manifest what I want to do, bring alternative information to the masses through mainstream, which is almost impossible. And I've been able to do it because why? Because I focused on it, I had faith in myself, and I brought it to fruition through manifestation techniques. And I'm telling you guys, it's so real.
Dope, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. Setting attention out there in the universe and just going after it, man, and not accepting limitations. Accepting limitations, man. So like I said, you're a living example. And that's why when I talk to you on the phone, my brother, I ask so many questions. I'll be talking and I'll be like, yo, I hope you don't think I'm asking too many questions, but I'm gonna ask these questions.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I'm gonna get what I gotta get. I'm gonna get the information I gotta get. So I'm talking to you. I'm like, yo, so Billy, so what about this? You're like, well, this and well, that. I just called you. Listen, I'm gonna give you an example, family. I called you. Mm-hmm. You were talking about quantum entanglement. Yeah. And I was asking you about wormholes. Right. And I was asking you about the illusion of distance and how wormholes is a shortcut. And thinking the door and effectively communicating with somebody miles and miles or light galaxies away via wormholes.
Yeah.
Something like that I was actually about. I don't know the exact thing. But and you answered it and you just went in.
Yeah.
Brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, thank you, man. Yeah, listen, that's what we're here for. We're here to bounce things off each other and learn from each other. And I learn from everybody. I suck it in, man. I learn from you. How you run your YouTube channel, how you interact with the people, how you check up on the people in the chat room, how you wait for people to come online first, how you verify if they can hear you and everything else. All those little things you think I'm not paying attention to, I'm paying attention to all of that stuff. I'm making mental notes on every single thing you do, and I'm incorporating the things that I think I can apply to my own self, my own business, into my own life. Even the fact of your intuitiveness and how you ask so many questions, I said, man, you know what? I probably need to ask more questions. So everything that the thing about being the student and the teacher is you're always in a state of learning and evolving nonstop. And once you think you're at the top and you can just kick back your legs and I'm the king of everything, that's when you fall down. You always got to stay down in that place where, you know what, how much more can I learn? Where can I get more information from? What can I take from this guy? What can I take from that guy? What can I learn from this? And I'm just learning all the way around from every single person I come in contact with all the time. And that's why I know so much information, because I'm always in a state of learning.
Indeed. I want to get a couple of probably one or two questions from the people. I know it's late. It's 12:11.
Ooh, wow.
Let me get one or two questions. You a Virgo, Billy Carson, you a Virgo, right, my brother?
I'm a Virgo, man. September the 4th, yeah.
So yeah, so it's two Virgos in a building family. This is it's a Virgo thing going on tonight, man.
Hey, you already know, man. Yeah.
It's bound to be successful.
We ain't afraid of hard work, man. We're not afraid of being very organized and digging in deep.
Listen, you were very inspiring to me, brother. Like I like, if I think I work hard, brother, you beat me by shit, man. You make me feel like I'll be like, damn, man, I gotta step my game up, man. So you can never be the smartest person in the room. Yeah. So when I talk to a brother like yourself, I know I'm with a brother who's on a higher level than me.
Thank you, man.
And I accept that. And then the ability for me to accept that allows me to grow and reach that next level. So it is what it is, man. We have to accept that and be honest with ourselves. But let me see what's going on in this chat. Ask Billy if the color yellow. Ask Billy if the color yellow and the number 11 have the same vibration. I don't know. I mean, that's a real.
Well, maybe they're trying to say if it's maybe they see a lot of people have synesthesia but have never been diagnosed. This happens to 1 in 100,000 people. Okay. So a lot of people, since they found out I had it, have been coming to me with questions kind of similar to that. So what this person might be saying, I'm not sure, is that they're seeing this color when they see number 11, or they're correlating, or their mind is correlating that color to the number 11 and vice versa. So maybe that's not the right term or way to ask it, but it's possible if that's the way their brain is making it coherent. So that's the thing with synesthesia. It's so random how it locks into different things, whether it's taste, sight, numbers, colors, sounds. It's really weird. But colors are on a different frequency than, of course, a number. Numbers explain frequencies. So a number will explain a frequency, but a number is not a frequency. So basically what this person might be saying is their mind is seeing the two combined or locked together. And that could be just unique for that particular person, you know?
When you say numbers explain frequency, is the only reason the number explains the frequency is because the shape of it?
No.
So let's say 8. Mm-hmm. Let's say 8. What if 8 was 8? Would it be a totally different meaning because it's a different shape, or would it be the same meaning?
It would be the same meaning, because you have to create computations. So no matter what 8 looks like, it's got to computate to that numeric value. No matter if it's, it doesn't matter really what it is, because it's got to have a computational value. And those computational values together then describe everything in the third dimension. The third dimension can be described purely and solely by mathematics. So numbers and mathematics describe everything in the third dimension. This is why everything in the third dimension operates off of something called error correcting codes. This is discovered by Professor James S. Gates, former University of Maryland, former scientific advisor to President Obama. He's an expert in supersymmetry and also in theoretical physics, and discovered that space-time operates off of these Adinkra codes, which are these error correcting codes, the same ones that are in searches and browsers and websites. So, and what does that mean? Well, it means that we're fundamentally, everything in the third dimension is what we call solid matter, is actually something called digital. And what's digital information? Zeros and ones. Again, giving you another example how zeros and ones mathematically can give you everything you see in the third dimension. Everything in this entire third dimension can be created with zeros and ones purely. So mathematics then describes things like distances between planets, gravitational fields. It can describe the mass of an object. It can describe the shape of an object. It can describe all the things that, all the molecules and atoms and everything else that exists within this system can all be mathematically described and computated. So because of that, numbers and mathematics describes everything else that we see and experience in the third dimensional realm.
Indeed. Wow, man. So yeah, mathematics is definitely key.
Mathematics is the language of the universe. It's the language of the creator. The creator speaks in mathematics. That is the voice that goes out, that turns into a frequency, that then jingles matter into existence.
Let me ask you, all right, let me ask you this, my brother. Western technology, it didn't catch up to ancient spirituality and I'm not saying it caught up to it all the way, but there's things that the Dogon seen in terms of the Sirius stars A, B, and C that they didn't believe, and they just recently believe because of their technology. So what I want to ask you is, do you have to, in terms of yourself personally, I'm just curious, do you have to know something scientifically to believe it? Or do you ever get information downloads from the universe? You can't confirm it scientifically. You can't go on any platform and have proof to back it up, but you believe it and you want to present it to the public. Does that happen to you, my brother?
A lot. Happens to me a lot. I have so much information, so many things that just come to me that some I can verify, because what happens when I get these downloads, I go look them up. And sometimes they actually exist already and they're well known about it. I just got to research and study it. And sometimes I can't find it anywhere. I just wait for somebody else to, I bump into them through conversation. They confirm something that I was already thinking, and I get a confirmation that way, So that's the two ways that it happens. I'll give you an example. One day, the term parabolic down conversion came to me, and I was like, parabolic down conversion? What the heck is that? And it just kept staying on my mind. I went and looked it up. This is way back when Google didn't even really exist yet. It was altavista.com or excite.com or whatever. But that was the beginning stages of when they were first trying to use lasers to get two particles on quantum entanglement. Okay, so that was really amazing. One day I had an experience with a meditation that I was doing, a walking meditation, and I felt like I phased out of reality for a minute, and I said I quantum walked. I said it outwardly. When I got home from the beach, I went online and said, I wonder if that's a real thing. Let me just look it up. Quantum walking, it's a real thing in quantum mechanics and quantum physics. I mean, it's just crazy stuff like this happens, you know what I mean? And you can't explain it, but there is some stuff that doesn't even exist yet. And I just wait for confirmation from other people, or sometimes it just stays bottled up in me, or sometimes I bring it up as a question mark, not as a statement. In other words, I don't want to say this is what it is, and I have nothing to back it up. So I bring it up as a question. Could this be? And then I go into it. You know what I mean?
You know what you just saying that I think that's one of the main reasons why I love asking questions, because I'm when you make a statement, you're more judged by the statement. And I get so many downloads. If I put it in the form of a question, it's less judgment.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
You learn
You
You
know,
learn
so this is like the perfect job for me. Like I'm getting these downloads, and I can say, hey, I can just put it in the form of a question.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know who I learned that from? I learned that from Eric von Daniken. His first book came out 50 years ago, Chariots of the Gods, a classic. 80 million copies sold worldwide in every language.
Yeah.
But the whole book, it's a book of questions. It's a book of questions.
What's the name of this book? What's the name of this book?
Chariots of the Gods by Eric von Daniken.
Oh man, you just gave. I need to write a book of questions, man.
That's it, man.
Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah, a book of questions from front to back.
Just straight questions?
Straight questions. Could
Right.
it be that these beings came from this star system according to these ancient texts and blah blah blah? Could it be that religion is really based off of the beings coming from space, or could it, he just went? Could it be that these lines in the deserts of Peru were created by people from another place? It was just a book of questions. The whole book is a book of questions. So that's where I learned it from, Eric von Daniken.
Yo, Billy Carson, you ever took shrooms or DMT or ayahuasca or any of that?
I never took it. I don't have anything against it, but I never took it. And people ask me like, why haven't you taken it? And I feel like the mode that my mind is in right now and the capabilities that I am aware of that I have and how powerful I know my mind is right now, the way it is wired. Because DMT and mushrooms and stuff will rewire your brain. Everybody will tell you that, including the person that gives it to you. Now, some people need that rewiring. It actually helps a lot of people. But for me, I happen to like what I have right now. I don't want to rewire what this system I have working, because right now it's working in such a powerful way. I don't want to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to break what's not broken. So I don't take them, not because I don't believe they're good. Just for me, I think my mind is working in a very efficient level, at a high level, and I like the way that it functions, and I don't want to twist and turn my nervous system around. You know what I mean?
Know thyself. Know
thyself. That's it.
Know thyself. Let me ask you. Let me bring this up real quick, and we got about 50. You got about 15 more minutes, my brother Billy.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me bring up this concept, and this is something maybe we could talk about also. I know me and you both do music, so I want to bring this up. I was looking at something. There was a program by Burt Goldman called Quantum Jumping. Have you ever heard of that?
Quantum Jumping, a program? No.
Yeah, this learning program called Quantum Jumping by Burt Goldman, and it's something he calls the law of rhythm. And he says the law of rhythm. He talks about it, and the law of rhythm is where you quantum jump into the perfect version of yourself.
Wow.
And you access that rhythm, because you say it's all about rhythm. It's all about rhythm because everything is vibration. So you access that rhythm of that perfect version of you, and you bring that back to your current version of you. So let's say, let me give you an example. So let's say you watch Coming to America, and it's King Joffrey. Remember when King Joffrey came to you see that movie, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
King Joffrey came to New York, and they had the rose petals. And the music, it was like a music. It was like this royal music playing.
Yeah.
It was playing the congos. So when say I listen to that music continuously, and I know that I already have the visual image of King Joffrey, I can take that rhythm from that image that I have and from that music that I have, meditate on it, and bring it to my quantumly. I can bring it to my present self and infuse that with my present self and make that become a part of my reality.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing what you're talking about, because I never heard about this gentleman you talk about his concepts or his theories. But there's a movie I'm working on right now with Sheldon Williams, which is my entertainment attorney, called Quantum Walking.
Quantum Walking, yeah.
And so it's almost the same thing where my consciousness jumps to alternative universe, and myself is in that alternate universe. Consciousness jumps into this avatar body in this one, and both universes are the same age, and the planet Earth is the same age, but consciously the planets went different directions. So that's really interesting what you're talking about. And how I came up with the concept of that movie was that walking meditation that I did at the beach. And then I felt like I quantum walked, and I said it, and then I looked it up and it was real. And that gave me the idea for the, Cholan Daniels, I'm sorry, his attorney. But that gave me the idea for the movie. So that's pretty interesting stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a whole program he got. It's called Quantum Jumping.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty deep with the rhythm, man. Like I'll give you an example. It is something before I even heard of that. Something like I just like how you said people do things intuitively or innately. When I was young, I would just listen to the Rocky soundtrack, the boxer Rocky, the movie. I would listen to the Rocky soundtrack and imagine me succeeding at certain things, because Rocky was all about overcoming obstacles.
Right.
If I come up and I have obstacles, that's the perfect example for me to tap into, frequency for me to tap into to overcome certain things. So I would listen to that music and I would tap into my imagination. But man, we're gonna get into all that on May 23rd.
Yeah, man.
That's what it's all about. May 23rd. Quantum entanglement, brain heart coherence, first eye activation, what we used to call third eye activation, and many other things. Billy Carson, man, I wanna just thank you for coming on the platform tonight.
Thank you, man.
Well, what is there anything you want to leave the people with before we got about 900 people in the room? What do you want to leave the people with to tell them about the conference, my brother? That's coming May 23rd.
Man, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I have got the feeling inside that this is going to be one of the greatest workshops that I've ever done since I've been doing workshops. Like it just, I just feel it, man.
I'm glad to be a part of that.
Yeah. I really feel like, man, like I'm pulling out all the stops. I got all the time I need. I don't have to rush. With Conscious Life XY, I run out of time. Contact, I run out of time. All these other, there's not enough time. Right. 6 hours, I got enough time now. I can take my time. I can work with the people. I can take them through some things. I can ask some questions. I answer some questions. And I can pull out all the stops, all the different things I've been waiting and wanting to do. I can do it now. And I think it's going to be, man, it's going to be one of the best ever. And I'm just like, I'm pumped. Like, you have no idea. I'm so excited to even be able to do this, man. It's like, wow, I'm thinking of all the incredible things I can incorporate into this so that I can make this like a once in a lifetime experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be incredible.
Man, family, I'm so proud. I'm so happy. Let's see what's going on. Give me one more question, and we're going to take one more.
Don't forget about the compendium shoes.
Oh, damn. Oh, my God. Billy, you going to be on that? Oh, we got so much to talk about.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah, my brother, this is why, family. Listen, my brother Billy Carson got his own sneaker line now. Yep. And this is why I said I pick the brother's a G. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, and y'all just listen. The brother's a genius. And I'm not letting it pass by. He's not just talking, he's utilizing this information in real time. We'll wait till somebody's dead and we'll be like, yeah, that brother, he did do this and he did do that. Oh shit. No, the brother's doing so much stuff in real. The brother has his own sneaker line that's conscious. Like, the brother got so much. Listen, the next show I'm gonna show the sneakers. The next show, I promise y'all, the sneakers is off the hook. Sneakers is off the hook.
Thank you.
Sneakers is off the hook. So I'm gonna show y'all the next show. But yeah, we just have to, we gotta step our game up. We gotta step our game up, and I think this is definitely a workshop that we could both level up with. You know what I'm saying? So Billy, leave them your Instagram and any contact information you want to leave them besides the workshop info.
Well, my website is Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, Forbidden Knowledge. Instagram, Forbidden Knowledge, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, Firework. I'm on every social media platform, Forbidden Knowledge. Of course, I'm also on there as Billy Carson. I also have multiple accounts. You can also look at my ancient history accounts, Anunnaki History, Facebook or Instagram, and plant-based alternatives for my plant-based diet, free, thousands of free recipes on plant-based alternatives on Instagram and Facebook. So check it out, guys. I think that one's almost at 1 million followers now too. So, check it out. We're putting out a lot of great information on a consistent basis.
Indeed, indeed. And with that being said, family, I'm gonna have my brother Billy on here probably next week. I wanna show my brother sneakers, premier sneakers, and also just continue to kick it with y'all leading up to the workshop. It's gonna be a success, and it's gonna be magnificent. And those who should be there will be there. And but we're gonna kick it with y'all probably every week or every week and a half or whatever, leading up to May 23rd. So stay tuned to my brother Billy Carson being on here more often. But besides that, thank you for everybody for tuning in here. Got almost 1,000 people in here. And I just appreciate all the love and support. With that being said, this is Brother Rich, Billy Carson. We're getting out of here, family. Peace.
Peace.